And welcome back. Chris here again, continuing on with my Path of Exile run. So I got rid of a bunch of junk that I had in my bank there, cleaned up a bit of it. All that I really have in there now is just the uniques, which there's not a lot that are really good for a trap build. There's a few items, but I don't have most of them. And I think I might only use one or two at the end game, so with that having been said, it's time to get this going. And Chapter 5 is where we face, Kativa. I think that's how you say his name. And after you finish this act, things change. You lose quite a bit of your resistances. And Act 6 to 10, you're going through the areas just sort of redone.
Blood.
And from there on in,
An exile. And thank you.
it's like a fairly new game. Although you're going through the same content that you've cleared already, just with a whole bunch of new stuff thrown in. So let's see here. What is my lowest resist? Lowest resist is lightning. I have zero chaos resist right now, but that's not a big deal. So lightning resist was my lowest. Let's see, lightning and then fire, and so lightning and fire I want to do. All right, let's see if this ring is any good.
We do this for freedom.
And no, not really that great. So that ring can go.
Greetings.
So I did make a few changes. My golem has, let's see here. So the golem has fork support, chance to poison, and ice bite support. So it's going to be doing some ice, poison, and more AoE damage. I really only have clarity running. Skitter bots, I added a few abilities to them, so they'll do some extra cold damage and a little bit more chill. Let's see. The fire trap, I have swift assembly, charged traps, and combustion support, so doing quite a bit of fire damage. And then I also finally added the second wind support, so my dash is going to have an extra cooldown. So let's get this going. So the first thing you have to look for here is on the lower ends, usually on the far left side of the map. Actually, I'm not sure that these guys are going. You're looking for an item that you need for opening the Templar Quartz. Okay, I don't remember ever seeing him before. A bunch of mines, but one of these days I'm actually going to have to go to the delve and clear out some of the sulfite that I have, because I just I'm not getting anything from here, but you get a lot more from the maps anyway, so it's not like you're really missing a lot. Usually you get anywhere from 12 to 40 something from here, whereas on the maps you can usually get some pretty crazy numbers. I think sometimes I've seen 200 or 300 from a single one of those nodes, and I don't know why I keep clicking on them. Then it's just habit. Oh, yep, you see, 2 dashes. It's pretty cool.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Alright, so is there anything to do? Yep. So I can, let's see here. 5% more cast speed. Okay, so I'm gonna go for this one here. So let's try and go all the way to 100%. There we go. That's a new ability. So they do hit pretty darn hard. Oh, we took out most of them. Just a few stragglers left. Okay, I thought I turned them all off, but there was one straggler. So I also noticed that with the new axe, like 4, 5, and then 6 onward, it seems like the packs are a lot bigger too. It could just be me seeing things that aren't there, but it feels like the packs are definitely bigger than they used to be. But it's fine for the trap build, because the bigger the packs are, the more those explosions just rip apart all the characters on it.
With that.
So we want... Okay, so there's the experimental supplies. So it's the Mias meter. So you can just warp down there if you have a good dash and save a little bit of running arounds. Yeah, this area, the fence is broken in spots. So if it ever is, you can create a shortcut for yourself. And there's a mini boss near the end here that is probably going to die pretty quickly. He summons a lot of ads, but because the traps do so much AoE damage, they're pretty much going to be no concern at all. I don't remember ever facing this guy before with his multiple dump decoys. Alright, so I think we are getting close to the exit now. So I think I'm probably going to tear through Invincible pretty quickly as well. Oh. Okay, so that little spot there, that's where we actually came, and just a car, Kioskus. So I think when we first warped in, I saw somebody kind of walking back and forth here. It might have actually been this guy. But yeah, you can see that's where we came in. The ground is still cackling with electricity. Oh, we actually got 5% more cast speed. So our character is really doing good. So a little bit further. We haven't quite made it. And with this axe, there's a lot of subzones that you can go through. Each one basically assigns to a quest. So what we're going to do when we actually reach that area is we're going to go across the main map, hit any sub area, grab the waypoint, and then go back to the main area. Just because you can always warp to all the sub areas afterwards. But you want to get through the main area before it resets. At least that's how I plan to do it. But, okay, I thought there was a boss here, but either we killed him too quick to even notice, or there wasn't one there. Good coffee. Alright. Let's level up the gems before we continue on. Cold damage, second wind, chance to poison supports, clear up the waypoints. So this area, there's only one thing to really do here, and that's just rush to get to the Templar Courts. There are a lot of enemies, so you can get quite a bit of experience here, but there's nothing significant that exists in this area. So just hit and run through. It looks like our gems are about to level up again. And gain another level as well. Yeah, so nothing significant here at all. Yeah, it's kind of funny that when you start through this game, if you're anything like I was, you'll go around and you'll pick everything up and try and go back and sell it, but a lot of stuff does not sell all that well. The currency that you want generally drops by itself, so most items sell for just nothing really all that significant. The main ones to pick up are... I really should actually take my own advice here. The main ones to pick up are just the ones that are... they have 6 sockets, or they're the colored ones for the chromatic orb. that might actually be good. It's intelligence based. But anything that's yellow that you don't use, I think it's probably more rational just to throw it back on the ground because it sells for the scraps of the Scroll of Wisdom. So you don't even get a full Scroll of Wisdom each time, you just get scraps from it. And level up all the gems. Yeah, so I think the guy that has that molten ring around him, when you kill him, he explodes. He probably explodes several times if he takes a lot longer to kill. But since he went down pretty quick, he just explodes when he dies, and then that's it. And I don't think we need anything else from the Crucible. Let's put the point somewhere. So we wanted to go... where was it? Over to here. Yep. Evasion. So down one more, and then we can start getting the points here. And 10% chance. Okay, so it's going to have some good spell suppression as well. Alright, but no, we don't need anything from the Crucibles anymore. At least not until we get a good weapon. And Templar Court Entrance. So actually... let's see, is anything here good? No, not really. No. Higher armor, less energy shield. No, that's not really good. Okay, so the Scepter does less damage, but... let's see, increased fire damage, so... the Scepter might actually be good. 2 blues and a green. So let's, yeah, we'll just go forward. If I come across Crucible, I'll upgrade that and just see if it's worth it. But, yeah, you go through the Templar Courts here. I usually take the top path because I think the bottom always leads to a dead end. So yeah, once you go through here, then you are heading towards where you fight against probably one of the toughest bosses in this game. At least if you're going through when you're not quite geared up, or you're kind of new to the game, but Invincible. Innocence is definitely one of the toughest. Nope, that appears no good. Level up all the gems again. And just keep using the Quicksilver Flask. Okay, so if something has the line there, I usually pick it up as well. Those are probably good ones that if you're going to be using the essences for anything, they're the ones to use it on. Okay, and there's the Crucible. So let's see about getting my... let's get it cleared. Okay, so it's good there. So let's go all the way to the first level. 50, 60, 38. There we go. Yeah, I like areas that have a door, especially for the traps, because it prevents all the ones that are all over the place from really hitting you. Alright, so we got our first one there. Armor, energy shield, no. Okay. Did we not get... oh no, it's in the inventory, that's why. So what do we get? So we get lightning damage and 10% chance to shock. Okay, so this is not really that great of one. So, we can get rid of this. So now that we're actually going to go up, because I think it's a little bit further along before we start heading back down. If we were to head down early, then we're just going to circle back to the beginning and waste some more time. I am really impressed with the traps. When I first started this game, it was one of the builds I tried as well, and it felt so lackluster. But now it just feels like it's tearing through everything. Alright. Yep, a little bit further, and now we can start heading down. Okay. Just head down, and then once we reach here, we start heading back over. So it's usually like almost a P shape. So you go up, and then across, and then down, and then circle back, and then that usually takes you to the entrance. Yeah, the poison and the fire are ones that you usually want to watch out for, because for your dash or your quick step, if you're in Ruthless, those 3 orbs, they move really fast. As soon as they lock onto you, then they start really short timer to explode. And if you're standing there, then it's just going to eat away your health really quickly. Alright, so a lot more guns leveled up. Okay, so maybe down a little bit more before we head over. Yep. And there's the door. Okay, so I was pretty accurate on that. So this is the Chamber of Innocence. There's a waypoint here. Now, the interesting thing about this is that you basically have to take a long circle around, and then the door to the Innocence fight is just on the other side. So we're gonna stay up top pretty much, go as far to the left as we can, and then start heading down. And another level up. Alright, so we got a jewel, the rapier we don't need, and the staff we don't really need. Maybe the staff is good for a Templar, but I never really see anybody using it. Oh, and chainmail. Okay, so now I think we can start heading down and over a little bit more, maybe. Look at them drop, just from the effect of the traps here. I think Innocence is really going to die quickly with this build. I'm actually wondering if maybe when Trial of the Ancient comes out, maybe I should try on Ruthless again and just play through that. The only problem is that gear is a little bit harder to come across, and the gems are much rarer. So I don't want to end up having periods of time where I'm doing this area and just going through, trying to find a gem, trying to find some kind of gear, because Innocence is just not dying. If you don't have the damage to back up the fight, then his shield regenerates so quickly. And if you're not a ranged character, like by the time he teleports around so much, by the time you actually get within range of him, if you're melee, then his shield will have built up. You're trying to do damage while dodging those brutal attacks, and then his shield, like, he'll teleport away again, and then his shield will build up, and it's just like, it feels like all you're doing is just going for the shield.
I need more pockets.
Alright. Let's head back. See if anything here is actually useful or not. Alright, so use up some of the wisdoms. Okay, so nothing here was really great that I remember. That was 19 intellect, but my helmet was already a bit better. The boots, no, the boots are pretty good. Although this one does have intellect. I don't really lose a lot. I get fire resistance, I get more speed, So maybe these boots are a bit better. I lose armor, but... I'll hold on to those for now. The scepter wasn't good. The chainmail can go. So can that one. That's... I lose quite a bit of intelligence, so that's not really worth it. The helmet can go, and this I'm going to actually equip because I can put the blue gem... I don't know, I can't put the blue gem anywhere. So I'm going to have to hold off to equip this for the time being, unless I could get rid of the bone shell support, so I think maybe I'll do that. The boots... actually, yeah. So if we go to our stash quickly, go to currency, use up some of these gems. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so we'll put the boots on, we'll put on the helm, we'll put this in the blue, and then these can go. So, yeah, I have more dexterity and intellect now. More intellect. So what is my intellect up to? 252? Feels like it's actually gone down. Wasn't I a little bit higher before? Okay, we don't really care about those at the moment, so let's sell this and this. The Swift Affliction, no. This one we could sell as well. And that, so just keep the inventory pretty clear.
We do this for
Get
freedom.
rid of everything in here that we can. The Predator supports. And we don't really need to worry about that at the moment. And we'll put that there as well. Alright, so now back to the chamber. And now we can get the shark skin gloves. And we'll just wait a little bit before checking those out. Wait till the inventory is full. So now we want to head down a decent amount, because then it circles around. Alright. A lot of enemies here. We're going to grab that Lunaris circlet. And we actually are, even though they recommend getting like 300 health per act, we're well below that, but we seem to be doing quite well. So maybe when Act 6 starts, it'll feel a little bit more intense, but right now it feels like we're not even really coming close to dying. So this is doing way too much damage. Alright, so now that we've reached the bottom, now we circle up and try and find the door to Innocence. And the gems. So I actually have quite a few of the chargers as well. You can see the little blue and the green orbs around me. So those increase damage and attack speed and increase critical strike for each power. So I think I have an item or one of the abilities that every time that I kill an enemy here, it is going to... Oh, the parity fell off. It's gonna add a charge. So yeah, the blue ones come fairly quickly, and there's the door that we're looking for. So this is where we go and we fight Innocence in two phases. So it's first phase
of impurity. Burn! I am the Emperor.
So he pauses at about half health and summons a whole bunch of these guys, I guess, because to try to make the fight that if you need to use a lot of health potions or mana potions or something, you need to keep replenishing them with enemies that appear.
I am the
But
new and the eternal. I am innocence.
how much did that do? Ooh, that did a lot of damage. Okay, so we're already in his first phase. So yeah, now he's summoning a bunch of enemies here. You know, it's kind of weird. I don't really like the bosses that do that, where they have an invincible phase. It's just, you should be, if your damage is just absolutely crazy, you should be able to kill the boss really fast. So yeah, you can see his shield pops up really quickly.
I am the Emperor.
Okay, so he is definitely going down really fast. So innocence, you're going down. Yeah, the ability that he's using here is very similar to Absolution. Okay, so he's finished. Alright, so we can get the Trapper Boots. The Timber Axe is not something we need,
Innocence.
but it is blue. So we'll check that out.
You and only
Full
you.
chainmail.
I
These
shall
boots
save.
we don't need.
I am sin.
Okay. And then this is the only cutscene in the game, really. This is Kativa essentially coming to life. Okay, that's it. So then, if you actually wanted to listen to it, he gives a little bit of rambling
Would that
here.
humanity should keep.
Okay, and now that that's finished, we'll level that up. We don't need to pick up anything else. So then, once you go out the other way, it warps you back here. If you were to take the other door, I think it would take you all the way to the other side of the map.
What in
But I'm not
damnation
sure.
have you done?
You've destroyed him, and yet I hear the voice of innocence, begging for our forgiveness,
Okay.
asking for our help.
So
You and
after
I.
this, the Templar Courts become the Torch Courts, and then it's very similar to what we came through the first time, except there's just a lot of fires now, and you just have to go through and head back to the other area. Ooh, easy bird. Okay, so when you see any items that have that strange circle, they're usually they have an enchant or something on them. Okay, so let's see if there's anything good there. Alright, so nope, those aren't really great. Actually, those are the ones that were lighting up, but that's no good. What else was it? And the wands. Lots of spell damage, lots of cold, but no. Okay, actually, for some reason that's lit up as well. I don't, like I said, I don't really know what that light is meant to represent. I don't know if it's a feature of filters or if it's something else, but I usually take those and sell them or something. Yeah, we've got a lot of those charges. So I like seeing the blue and the green circles around. And you can actually get some cosmetic things in the Path of Exile store if you want to make them more prominent or just change up the look. But sticking with defaults, I mean, once you get used to how all these little abilities look, changing it up can start throwing you off the game. But, I mean, I think Path of Exile is one of the few games that I would say that the cosmetics are actually worth it. It's a free-to-play game, but they've done such a good job that might as well support the company. I mean, they've earned our business. They've made one of the most awesome ARPG games. It blows anything Blizzard has out of the water. There's not a lot of them that are actually good. I was trying this other one, Vulcan, and I just wasn't able to get through, like, very far in it, because it feels like the characters, like, well, at least as far as I played, your character doesn't really feel unique. He looks the same as everything else. You start off overpowered, and then once you go through the intro, you're all of a sudden weak, but you don't look that impressive. Alright, so let's power up this more here. Okay. So it's like a lot of frost damage to drop it. And it's I think, yep. My lightning golem had died. Okay, I don't know what caused all those guys to appear. I don't know what that is. Skeletal Shrine? Oh, okay, it was a Skeletal Shrine. And now it's gone. I was thinking, what ability do I have that summons skeletons? And I just couldn't think of it. Alright, so we are almost at the door. There we go. So we're at the Ruined Square. So this is where the act really branches out quite a bit. So now that you're here, there's the torch ports, the control blocks. We don't need to go back to the control blocks. They're blocked off anyway now. So there's the cathedral rooftop, and then 2 other areas. And then there's also a mini-boss here. So we're going to head to the left if we can. And then circle around because the rooftop is on the... Or we're going to head to the right if we can. And the rooftop is on the far left, so we want to find the mini-boss, which is usually on the right side of the map. And then we want to find the scepter that we need to open up the rooftop. And then from there, we just have that last step.
With that.
Okay, so Nico, we don't really have to care about. Yeah, so for some reason they, I think they have the path to the right a little bit blocked off, but you'll have to go around and get it, so we can do that, and just kill a lot of stuff along the way. So there's the waypoint, and the waypoint, okay, so there's the ossuary too. Okay, so the ossuary must be this one, which means the rooftop's in the middle, and then I can't remember what the last one's called. Is there a waypoint here? I forget. No waypoint here. So we're gonna come back to this after a little bit. We're gonna do the other areas first. Because the waypoint just takes us right here. So just keep going. So quite a few of the early maps that you come across are very similar in appearance to this layout, just without the fire. So gem leveled up again. And I should use those points. Okay, so the mini box is around here somewhere.
Low on mana.
Alright, let's get all the gems leveled up. And yeah, I do have my lightning golem out. Doing a fair bit of damage. Yeah, I think the Witch's Golem build is pretty powerful too. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be just the Witch. You can basically put it on any character. But the Witch has a few really good summoner builds. So we are almost at the mini-boss that's in this area. And then once he's dead, we head to the middle. Okay, so this is the mini-boss.
Did you think our vengeance was done, Savior? Oh no, it has only begun.
And he's down. So those little orbs, I think, are from the lightning golem. And they are helping keep everything nice and clear for us.
Yes. This is good stuff.
So we're going to go to the one little area that's just on the south side of the map. And then that gives us, you know, I don't think that there's really any quests in this act that you have to do for extra skill points. I think they're just for, like, pieces of gear or something. So they're not really all that important. Most people probably skip them. But we're just going to complete everything on this one. Save some time, get some experience. Okay, so we have... Oh wait, there it is. There's the door. I did almost miss it. So this is the reliquary. So you go through here, and you have to get the 3 pieces of Kativa's Torment, and there's a waypoint. So it's not actually a long quest here, but there's a lot of enemies, and this, I can't remember if it was here or in Act 8, I think, where you start seeing some creatures that are really weird. Yeah, this one. The ones that climb up the wall there, they're like humanoid spiders. So I usually stick on the lower side of the map first, try and find the first one, and then the second one is usually north of that, and then the third one is northeast. So just, I like to hug the wall a little bit. Yep, so there's the first one, there's the tooth, and then we start heading to the right a little bit. There should be one along the bottom on the far side, and then we start heading up, and then we're gonna... Oh, my ring.
I need more pockets.
Yep, we're gonna go back to town, sell a bunch of this stuff. So, we've
You deserve recognition.
cleared quite a few quests.
Once
We can
Kitava
ignore
has
that for now. Sell a couple items, so let's see. Just do all the identifying. So this, we don't need. That we don't need. Nope. 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 And the unset ring. Oh, that's pretty good. I wonder if that's spell or what. But that's a pretty cool ring. Curses enemies on hit. And we can sell that wand too. Alright, let's use up the points we have. So we want to get... So what is my evasion rating going to be up to? So we are at 50% chance to evade attacks now. So let's see here. 55%. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, we could talk to the people, but we're just going to wait till the end. Alright, so there's the second one. You can see the mark there. And then the third one should be a little bit back. So we head to the left, to the west of it. And it should be somewhere in the top corner of the map. And I usually like picking up the divination cards that drop. That blue one that was shaded that we just talked. You collect enough of those and you can trade them into somebody in your hideout and get some kind of a currency or sometimes even an item. Late season, they're not that important because you'll probably find a lot more just on the ground if you're doing the laps or anything. But if you're starting, every little bit helps. And we just got a bunch of gem level buffs too. Yeah, so the gems level up so quickly, I can't see any point in keeping any that you don't want. Because some of them, by the time they hit level 10 or something, if you're just starting a build, there'd be really no point in using them, since you would have to wait, I don't know, like 30 or 40 levels. Alright, so using all these. Okay, so we have pretty much everything done. We have to head back to the waypoint, which I probably should have just gone through. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go back to town, take the waypoint to the Exilecon. So, Rune Square. Okay, so the ossuary. So we just need to get the sign of purity from here. And so what we do is, much like with the Templar Quartz, we go up then around. Or maybe, yeah, up and around, because you can see that little lever there. I don't think it's the way back to the beginning, but there's no way to actually access it without going all the way through here. So this is, I think they're called Delirium. So what you do for here is, it's just the more enemies you kill, the more gear that drops when the timer fades. So you want to go fast, you want to do a lot of damage, and you don't want to just sit there and dilly-dally around. Yeah, you can see the little weapon thing in the bottom left corner that's powering up. Okay, so maybe I was supposed to head south instead of going to the top. Yeah, the pieces you get seem to be random. So it was like 3 weapons that you see the meter jumping up for, and then I think that's an essence icon. Yeah, there's some people that just get a bunch of these little meters filled up. The most I've ever gotten is like 4. But you don't really have much of a timer to go off of until that little one starts popping off the top of the screen there. So once that goes off, then a few seconds later, the items that you've earned will pop, and then you can just take what you want. So we got an essence.
I need more pockets.
Spike shield. No, we don't want that. Chakra mix. Sure. So we are heading up and then over. So the whole point of here is to get to that lever, and then the seal of purity. It's a big item, so have to move a few things around. So let's see. And then, can I pick it up yet? Yeah. Okay, so then you just hit the lever, and then that takes you right back to the beginning once the wall opens. So now we're in the Rune Square. Did it reset yet? Nope. Okay, so the rooftop is to the south here. And I should probably resummon my lightning golem. So what you do is you head just across the left side of the map here, and there, and as you're doing that, Silk Robe, 4 blue slots. Nah, we'll skip that for now. You look for anything that veers off to the left a little bit more, and then one of those will take you to the rooftop. Yeah, I could sure use some 6-slot items, but haven't had any luck yet. I mean, you could use the Tabula Rusa. It has 6 slots and they're always white, so there's never any limit to what you put in. But I'd rather just use the pieces of gear I find, because the Tabula Rusa offers no stats whatsoever. Alright, here you want to head to the west, to the left a bit, and just follow along the path. There's a few demon-looking things here, and this area seems to have an absolutely ridiculous amount of unique enemies, so you're definitely going to be on your toes here.
I need more pockets.
Okay, so the lead stuff does give elemental damage. That might be good. Can we move anything around? Let's go back to town quickly, clear out some of this space. So talk to Lanny, blah blah blah, get a book.
For freedom.
Talk to
Unlike
Venti.
these, sometimes I simply go.
Get another book.
Now, where?
We're
Talk to
glad High
Ganon.
Priest.
Skip that for
Don't
now.
ever give up.
Okay, so we did get 2 books. That clears up quite a bit of space. Let's put the boots here. Okay, back to the rooftop. Alright, so the lead scepter. Let's see here. Okay, so elemental damage, but let's see here. It's not really better than what I have. I do like the increased elemental damage, but the fact that my wand here increases fire damage by 22% basically makes up for it. So Kativa is one that I usually have a little bit of trouble with. There's a few abilities I haven't gotten used to when casting to really predict where they're going to do the most damage. Plus, I also got I get very tunnel vision for that fight. This guy has to die. There we go. Yeah, I like killing the little treasure goblin ghost things. And before I take on Kativa, I'll make sure to put those points in.
I need more pockets.
Okay, the curve blade. Nope, don't need that. Although it is 5 slots, that would be nice, but we have plenty of the jewel gems already. And we want to get through this out. So yeah, you just keep heading. This one's fairly straightforward. Once you hit about the middle of the map, you just keep heading across, and usually there's little doorways like this that just open up for you. So it's not really a winding maze here. So there we go. So let's put the points in. Alright, so we want 30% increased evasion if you have energy shield, 100% evasion rating if energy shield restarted in the past 2 seconds. Let's go. Okay, we don't want specifically evasion mastery. What is this? Leech. Alright, so let's where can we head next after we finish this circle? I don't know about Leech Mastery. Although I like that 1% of spell damage is Leech's energy shield. That's actually pretty good. Energy shield instead of life. So we hit everything here. No, we don't need cold damage. Okay, let's finish this off, and we'll get the Okay, we'll get that one. So we have 3 there, and that increases our, let's see, evasion is at 2201, 54% chance, energy shield at 161, so if we apply that, we're at 59, so that's a pretty big bump. Okay, so we are ready to take on Kativa. Let's level up the gem. Yeah, so this is the gigantic statue guy. So he usually opens with that. It's best to stay on in the middle, that way you can usually take one side or the other. Yeah, the traps are definitely really good for this fleet. Yeah, well, you definitely have to watch for when you start seeing the circles exploding towards you, because if all 4 hit, they do a lot of damage and usually can one-shot you if you don't have a lot of health. Yep, so that was the ability. I was able to finally dodge it. Yeah, it feels like there's so much going on in this fight between the heart, the red stuff that appears on the ground, the add-on, the mobs that appear, his fire breath, and when he does, yeah, shoot. Okay, so he's actually going down really quick. I don't think I've ever killed Kativa this quickly. So I think that might have been it, because his heart is not on the ground. So that's his true form, and now he's just gonna blast the Scepter of Purity.
The flame of hope may flicker,
And
but
as
it
you can
cannot
see,
be
you've been permanently
extinguished.
weakened by Kativa's Cruel Affliction. You now have 30%, minus 30% to all resistances.
There
So
is
that
no
is the
shame in
end
falling to a
of
god. Shame
really the
lies
first
only
half
in
of the game.
refusing to rise again. You shall soar. That much I'm permitted to foresee.
So I think I got through this
You shall
pretty
ascend
quickly.
to the peak of your loftiest mistake, and from there you shall pluck a single surviving.
Okay. So I think also with the way that the game is set up from like after Act 5 onward, you don't have to take some path from the end of the act to the next one. Usually there's a portal or something, so it's just much easier. So instead of like following a path from the end of Act 5 to try to get to Act 6, we just go to the ship and it ports us right to the
I'm
town.
Captain Lily Roth.
And
We
this is
sail
where we're
for
introduced to
Rake
Lily.
last. Better to live in exile than die
So
on
she
this
becomes a really
side.
good source for
Remember,
all of our gems.
this ain't no charity run.
So let's see. Once it loads, yeah, now our resistances are a bit lower, so we would have had 68% fire resist, now down to 38. Would have had 70% cold resist, and my lightning resist is really weak. And yeah, I had 0 chaos resistance, and that's minus 30 now.
All right.
So chaos is
We're safe for the
poison
time
or like
being.
shadow spells.
Now let me introduce myself properly. Lily Roth.
Okay.
Yep. I'm one of those, Roth. Don't think I'd be forgetting that favor you owe to me. In fact, now I think of it, there's certainly a way you can be repaying this most considerable debt. You see those blasted...
Okay, so she gives the quest to clear the Twilight Strands. And if you go to purchase item, she has all the gems. So if you're not playing on Ruthless, this is where you would go for the most of your stuff. There's only one white gem, just the Detonate Mines, but she gives a bunch of support gems, a bunch of the blue, green, and it's well organized. So the second tab is always support. The first is your primary abilities. So 1, 3, and 5 are good. 2, 4, and 6 are your supports. And that is basically everything to cover. Yeah, so now that we're here, we're basically going to end the video and just maybe work on Acts 6 and 7 later on. And then, yeah, just a few more acts to go and then we're done. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 more acts to go. And then we can finally start on the map. And my character's starting to shape up a little bit better. He looks a little bit ridiculous Like, the gear does not really match well at all, and you almost look like a clown at points, but it's pretty good gear. And now with this act, we should start seeing some better stuff drop. Probably most of the items that we're going to equip soon are going to have, so you can get 4 slots for all these, and then start working on better gem setups. It'd be nice to get a 6-slot one soon, and yeah, a better wand or a scepter, because this one is not great, but I can always work on that later. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll have more videos up soon. And then once the next expansion comes out, I'm really gonna hammer away at that. So have a good night. Bye.